Okay, what's up YouTube? I am the owner of this Waka Kayak, and I, like you, have a broken backband. So it was a great backband for about a year, and then this is the inside of the boat. What happens is the holes, the little pins, there's some form of rivet, they get rusty, and then they pull out, and then you end up with your nice foam pad and your actual backband. And so today, I'm going to attempt to reattach this, and I'm going to share it with you guys, and hopefully it will be useful to somebody else besides myself. I think it's a good idea. We'll see if I can make it a reality. And if you have a better way, you can let me know in the comments. But for now, this is the best way I can think of without buying a new backband or owning a rivet gun. So I just have the backband. I have pliers, which I'm going to use to pry these out. Velcro, which I'm going to use just to like create a bit of friction between this and that. And then string, which I'm going to loop through here and then through these holes and hopefully be able just to tie it back on. I got this paracord just from leftovers from a tent that I recently bought, so that's pretty convenient. This was in the junk drawer, and obviously everything's pretty obvious. And a beer. It helps me stay sane when I'm fixing things that shouldn't have broken premature breaks. Okay, step by step, here we go. So step one, I'm just going to take the pliers and I'm going to pull these pins out from the backband so they're out of the way. Okay, I have pulled the pins from out of the backband. The holes are a bit bigger now, and it's a bit of a pain, but my only tip for that is to be forceful. This is a shitty set of pliers, but have a decent set of pliers and just go for it. And if you get a good grab on them, you'll be able to pop them out. Next step is I'm gonna actually apply some Velcro to the back here, and I'm gonna apply it to this piece here after some cleaning. Okay, I have now attached a piece of Velcro to the backband and a piece of Velcro to the back end of the backband. And that's not going to hold the backband on obviously by itself, but what that's going to do is then once the backband goes back together and it gets stringed together, it's going to stop the backband from just sliding around all underneath, which a little bit's fine, but you don't want it like coming way up. And with the string, it won't hold it in as secure of a position as the pins did. So hopefully that helps just hold it a little bit more rock solid. Probably not essential, but might be a nice little help. Okay, so in order to get the string through the backband, the hardest two holes are obviously going to be these two holes because they're the furthest apart. So luckily I'm at home and I have a good supply of metal coat hangers. So what it is, I got a metal coat hanger and it wasn't too bad. With a little bit of patience, I managed to thread it quite easily through both the holes. And then I've taped this piece of paracord to the end here, and I'm going to need two hands, but then I'm going to gingerly pull this through so that I have the paracord looped through behind the backband, and then I'll be able to use the ends of the paracord to tie to the two holes on the back of the plastic part. Okay, so the coat hanger duct taped to the rope, and then very carefully coaxed through the back of the backband worked. How well that works depends on kind of the gauge of your rope and obviously your coat hanger. And then if you struggle with it, the only tip I can give you is just, make the holes a little bit bigger. No one's going to see it once it's on there, and it won't impact the actual structural integrity of the backband once you get it tied back together. Okay, so using the paracord, coat hanger, and duct tape technique, I have pulled a rope from this hole to this hole and through these two holes, these four holes here. That process was not fun. I actually put a little cut in the backband, but it's not terrible. If you had something a bit smaller than a coat hanger, there's probably a sweet spot that would make your life easier. You could also use smaller gauge paracord, but honestly, I don't know, I wouldn't want to go much smaller than that because this seems a good combination of strength and size to fit nicely in the holes. And next thing is just to actually tie it on to the other one. So I'll tie it up to this guy and I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, that's a wrap on my little Waka backband repair. As you can see, I tied this one across, and then I actually did a figure 8 and a half hitch, and then I cut and burned the tail. And then on these two, I just went with square knots on either end, so those two tied together. And then I had some nice long tails, and so then I double fishermaned the tails together to just keep it a little bit neater. And then if these knots start to slip at all, they'll catch on the fisherman's and they won't come undone. I think the highlight and the thing that I like most about this repair would be the velcro. It just means that the backband, even with the ropes, because you'll never get them tight to hold it really solid, it's just not going to slide at all on the actual backing plate, which makes it much better than what I've seen in the past, which are the kind of aesthetically unpleasing little duct tape repairs where you just do a loop of duct tape around the front and back. So hopefully that's helpful. If you guys know a better way to fix a Waka backband, let me know. But that took, I don't know, half an hour and just stuff around the house, and I bet you it'll last hopefully even longer than the steel rivets lasted in the original. Cheers.